Classic. Many believe that Tyson's downfall began after his devastating victory over Michael Spinks in June of 1988. After that win, Team Tyson was completely overhauled. Don King became Tyson's promoter, and manager Bill Caton and trainer Kevin Rooney were both out. Even though he continued to march through the heavyweight division, Tyson's personal life began to spiral out of control, and eventually he would lose his heavyweight championship to Buster Douglas in February of 1990. Al Bernstein analyzes the deterioration of Tyson the fighter as he prepared for his 1995 comeback in this vintage Outside the Lines report.
When Mike Tyson was at his peak, these were the building blocks of his success. Good head movement, repeated use of the jab, and rapid combinations. This gym in Catskill, New York is where Mike Tyson learned his boxing skills. It's where Customato taught him a very specific kind of boxing style that would take him to the World Heavyweight Championship. But many believe that well before Mike went to prison, that style was crumbling.
I didn't see the jab in the Bruno fight. I don't care if he only threw 10 jabs when he was at his best, maybe 15 around. They were effective jabs. That was very badly missed when it was gone. He was looking now to land one punch.
2 fights later came Tyson's only pro loss to Buster Douglas. Again, specific punches were absent, this time along with any evidence of focus and preparation.
He didn't throw any punches because he figured, all right, well, I'll maybe look at this guy in a bad way and he'll fall down. And when that didn't happen, and the other guy, Douglas, was in pretty good shape, and he was very nervous, but he let a scared fighter get brave is what he did. And so Douglas said, all right, well, you don't want to throw, I'm going to start throwing. So he started throwing and started connecting. Since 1988, when Don King took control of Team Tyson, there's been no trainer who has had the impact or autonomy of D'Amato or Rooney. For the most part, Tyson marches to the beat of his own drummer.
If you don't have someone you can trust in, sometimes you're lost. The advantage of having a trainer is that he can see things that you can't see. And then you go to the corner, he can explain certain things to you. And therefore, you can go out there and look for various different things, and that makes you a better fighter.
In his first bout after his release from prison, Tyson scored a first-round knockout over Peter McNeely. Coming up, Al Bernstein will be back with his thoughts on James Quick Tylis in his continuing series, Bernstein on Boxing. But now let's get back to 1986, Tyson versus Tylis, right here on ESPN Classic.
We are back for round 6. And it's a piece of trivia at best, but now Tylis has an opportunity to go farther with Tyson than any of his previous opponents if he can last past 119 of this round.
Well, I think if Mike continues to fight this way, Tylis has the chance to break the knockout string. He's got to be busier. Tylis does have a tendency to tire very badly in late rounds. He was exhausted at the end of his 8-round fight with Tyrell Biggs, and this is a 10-round fight. But Mike Tyson has to throw punches that mean something and throw them in combination. Those are just arm punches. There's nothing on those punches. He's just count the number of effective punches that Mike is letting go. And they're very few. He's just trailing Tylis around the ring, not cutting it off effectively.
Come on, work out there. Come on, work out your hands.
Allowing himself to get tied up, accepting clinches.
Now the crowd begins to implore Tyson to give them something a little bit more exciting than what he has demonstrated here. And now it becomes clear that Tylis will last longer than anyone else has, as we have just passed the point at which Jesse Ferguson was bid to stop by Luis Rivera in Troy, New York, a couple of months ago. That punch missed, despite the crowd reaction.
Since we are talking about the possibility of the fight going the distance, scoring at the halfway point, I've given Tyson 3 rounds, Tylis 1 round and 1 round even. I did not score the 4th round, which is the round in which I knocked down a 10-8 round for Tyson. I only gave it a 10-9 round for Tyson because of the fact that Tylis was dominating the round up to that point.
The point system is, of course, supplemental only. The round system stands up unless there is a draw. Personally, Alex, I have it 4-0-1 for Tyson. I've not given Tylis a round.
There are two ways of looking at what Mike is doing. One way is to say that he's pacing himself, he's waiting for the opening. The other way is to say that he's getting frustrated and getting taken out of his fight.
There was moments ago a brief combination to the body of the kind of rapid-fire punching that you expect from Tyson, but that was one of a very few times, perhaps the only time in the bout when we've seen it. But again, he comes on at the end of the round. We are all the way through round 6. Mike Tyson and James Tylis will be back.
I, Tony Sinclair, in my relentless pursuit of cocktail perfection, journeyed to exotic India in search of the fabled Rangpur line. The quest was arduous, but the result, delicious.
Discover Tanqueray Rangpur, the new mixable gin that goes with everything.
What's next? Ice cubes that don't melt. Ready to Tanqueray, Rangpur style.
Always in moderation.
I used to spend my weekends trying to find the ball. Actually, I still spend my weekends trying to find the ball. But now, things have changed. Take the way I work out. Today, I used a Bowflex tread climber. After a high-impact football career, 5 knee surgeries, my workouts had to change. And the low-impact tread climber is easy on my knees, ankles, hips, and my back, but it still delivers a serious workout.
The Bowflex Tread Climber machine's unique, independent dual treadle system engages more muscles and burns more calories than traditional home cardio equipment. In fact, the Tread Climber burns twice the calories of a treadmill at the same speed. And you can get a Tread Climber machine for no money down and payments as low as $24 a month.
You've got to get this free DVD. It can change your life.
To get your free DVD, call 1-800-357-3671 or visit us online. Call now.
Every weekend, ESPN Classic picks one sport. I don't believe it! And runs with it for a full day of classic action. This weekend, it's a Hot Wheels Marathon. Starts Saturday at 1 Eastern, only on ESPN Classic.
We are back, and for the first time in a professional career which began 13 months ago, Mike Tyson enters round 7. Another heavyweight. Tyson with the lead in the fight to this point over James Quick Tylis, but fighting a curiously docile fight so far. Not nearly as busy or as aggressive as we've seen him in his 19 previous outings, which resulted in 19 knockouts.
He almost looks right here like he's waiting for Tylis to make the fight, to come to him.
In case you've just joined us, it is Tylis, the fighting cowboy from Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the white trunks, Tyson in the black. Tyson co-managed by Jim Jacobs and Bill Caton. Tylis co-managed by Bo Williford and Gary Bentley.
One curious thing that we learned before the fight about Tillis's condition, we said he's always tired late. Bo Williford and Gary Bentley found out after the Biggs fight, through the doctor's examination, that James Tylis has a number of allergies. Among them, allergic to milk, citrus, and wheat, which could make things difficult for a fighter who, on the day of a fight, eats wheat cakes, drinks milk, and orange juice.
We have to assume that that was not his pre-fight meal today.
He actually was eating mainly cranberry juice. But it has helped his stamina, and I think he also trained harder for this fight. He realizes this fight means everything to him.
He has lost 4 of his last 5. And Bo Williford told me last night that if Tylis were to be knocked out today and wanted to continue as a fighter, he would do so without the help of Bo Williford.
Yeah, this is career time for James Quick Tylis.
Incidentally, if you're not a boxing fan and Tylis looks familiar to him, you may have seen him in the movie The Color Purple, where he had a brief part as Henry Buster Broadnax in the juke joint scenes. Spent 2.5 weeks with Steven Spielberg and crew in Los Angeles, where they called him Dark Gable. There's a right hand by Tyson. And the uppercut.
Tylis is not noticeably hurt by that punch.
But he's cut. There is blood above his left eye.
Exactly right. Mike was a little bit extended with the punch, did not have the proper range for full power.
Now he's at the right range, Phil. He lands something here. This is where he can be effective. Again, not punching at the body when Tylis grabs him behind the head. Tylis landed a left, didn't seem to faze Tyson at all. We will stay here between rounds, as it is Tylis who tries to flurry at the end of round 7, with the blood now seeping out from an apparent cut above the left eye.
Bill Nunnery does the cuts for, well, actually, Bo Williford is doing the cut himself right now. Doctor in looking at it.
As we look at Tyson's corner, the action is in the opposite corner, right there where they are working on James Quick Tillis's left eye. Let's take a look back at the action from round number 7.
You see what Tyson did there. He scored the right hand to the body, missed with the right uppercut that we thought he could land if he kept throwing it, but continued to punch. And eventually that will pay dividends. He has to continue to back up Tylis and continue to cut the ring off on him to be able to score effectively. I want to give James Quick Tillis credit. He's been there with a tough young bull, and he's fought harder and stronger really than I've ever seen him fight in his career, including the time he fought for the title. He is showing something that a lot of people have questioned over his career, and that is his heart. He's cut, he's taken some brutal punches, and he is fighting back, moving and still trying to win this fight.
One of the greatest trainers in the history of the sport openly questioned Tillis's heart while he was working with him.
Angelo Dundee worked with Quick Tillis for the Weaver fight and some subsequent fights. He finally just gave up. He said James had no spirit to fight. Tillis told us in the pre-fight interview that he found that spirit. Didn't know why he'd never had it, but said he found it for this fight. He was going to be a different fighter, and he has been.
You cannot question his courage or his commitment today. He has been there from the opening bell. He has not run away as he did 15 rounds against Weaver in 1981. Tyson looped that right hand, and you have to wonder if perhaps Tyson is getting a bit anxious. We are into round 8. The knockout string has been a prominent part of the marketing and publicity which has surrounded Tyson's rise. It won't be quite the same if he's 20-0 with 19 knockouts.
There's no question that up till now, if the fight continues this way and goes to a decision, Tyson, in my opinion, will win the decision, but the Mike Tyson mystique will suffer. He has not scored a knockout. He has not really hurt Quick Tillis, even though he has knocked him down and cut him. And he's let Tillis stay in the fight when other fighters, such as a Tyrell Biggs, really had Tillis out of the fight and in more trouble. In fairness to Tyson, we should repeat, Tillis appears to be in much better condition for this fight.
Could that, in fact, Alex, be good for Mike Tyson?
Yeah, I think that ultimately you're exactly right, Jim. This kind of a fight is absolutely essential to his learning experience. It's obvious for a fighter who punches with as much power and who places as much of his fight plan on power as Tyson does, that any kind of movement cuts down on his power because it doesn't let him set himself as well. It was inevitable that he was going to have to learn how to fight a guy who could move and box. It's good that he's fighting one like Quick Tillis to get that learning experience.
And maybe if he has to go to decision to win the fight, then there won't be as many people asking every day, when are you going to fight for the championship of the world?
Those same people who are questioning his chin and his ability to go rounds will turn around now, since he's demonstrated that he has not gotten exhausted and he's taken good punches, will now turn around and say, well, he can't punch. Mike Tyson just went left-handed, and that was decidedly left-handed. It's the first time he's been that committed to a left-hand stance since his 4th professional fight. It means he's a little bit confused, a little bit frustrated, and he's willing to try anything new right now.
ESPN Classics Beat the Heat Summer, all this week. ESPN Classic is opening up the boxing vault.
Oh, the right hand behind the jab.
Now with rarely seen fights, featuring some of the biggest names in boxing. Golden Boy De La Hoya, Real Deal Holyfield, Sweet Pea Whitaker. From one classic knockout to the next.
That's it. It's all over. It's all over.
Classic Night at the Fights, 8 p.m. weeknights, only on ESPN Classic.
Dish Network Pay-Per-View presents $1.99 movies only on the Last Chance channel.
Getting the feeling we got a cop in my crew.
Sooner or later, he's gonna find out who I am, and he's gonna kill me.
This movie's available for a limited time. Order it now before it's gone for good.
I'm gonna have my associates search you.
Get your hands off me.
We could work something out.
Go to channel 538, the Last Chance channel, where $1.99 delivers the greatest movies from Dish Network Pay-Per-View.
So you're going to college. Well, I guess you did real well in your exams. Well, here's a new question for you. How are you going to pay for your education? A, look for loose change in the sofa. B, sell a kidney. C, play the lottery. Or D, call a Strive student loans. The correct answer is D. With a Strive, you can borrow up to $40,000 a year, apply in about 15 minutes, and get your check in about a week. And you can choose to defer payment till after you graduate.
Go online or call 1-800-427-4312.
James Quick Tylis first stepped into the ring as a pro November 18th, 1978, and scored a first-round knockout of Ron Stefani. Tylis would win his first 20 fights before earning a title shot in 1981 against the WBA champ Mike Weaver. With more on Tylis and his shot at the championship, here's Al Bernstein and his continuing series, Bernstein on Boxing.
In the late 1970s and early 1980s, there were several young heavyweights who came along with the kind of hand speed and foot speed and panache to be labeled the next Muhammad Ali. They were men like Greg Page, Michael Dokes, and James Quick Tylis. Tylis grew up punching cows in Oklahoma and then moved to Chicago, where he started punching men in the ring for a living. He became Chicago's most celebrated heavyweight in years and helped kickstart ESPN's top-ranked boxing series with fights in front of big crowds in Chicago. Those wins over fringe contenders vaulted Tylis to a 1981 shot at Mike Weaver and the WBA title. In the early stages of the fight, Tylis did look like a reincarnation of Ali, even including Ali's former mentor, Angelo Dundee, in his corner. But as he failed to take the initiative enough in the bout, it became his career in microcosm. Lots of promise that went unfulfilled. Despite Dundee's pleadings from the corner, Tylis did not follow through on opportunities, and he lost a decision. In his career, Tylis would fight most of the major heavyweights of his day, like Tim Witherspoon, Pinklon Thomas, Evander Holyfield, and Mike Tyson, but never came up with the big performance he needed in a clutch situation, even though he always came close in doing it. He retired to his first love, working cattle on his ranch in Oklahoma, but befitting his nickname, left behind quick flashes of brilliance in a career that didn't quite ignite. For ESPN Classic, I'm Al Bernstein.
When he left the ring in St. Joseph, Missouri, April 13th, 2001, the 43-year-old Tylis had just lost a 20-second fight. It was the 66th bout of his career. Now let's continue with Tylis versus Tyson on ESPN Classic.
We are back in Glens Falls, New York. James Quick Tylis enters round 9 with 19-year-old knockout phenomenon Mike Tyson. And in Tyson's round, or in Tyson's corner between rounds, trainer Kevin Rooney was imploring him to keep punching, not to stop punching, particularly in the clinches.
Come on, work out of it, guys. Come on. Which is exactly what Mike just did. He was in tight, his hands were free, and he did not punch. This Mike Tyson looks very much like the Mike Tyson who lost 2 close decisions to Henry Tillman in the heavyweight trials for the Olympic Games in 1984. He is confused by the movement. The movement does not allow him to hit a stationary target, and therefore he can't set himself as well. We have not seen the evidence of the jab that Mike Tyson said we would see.
And Henry Tillman recently scored a first-round knockout over Bash Ali in a cruiserweight fight. Could he be, in his own way, Alex Wallow, progressing at just as impressive a rate as Tyson?
Well, Henry Tillman was very impressive winning the North American Boxing Federation cruiserweight title by scoring a sensational first-round knockout over Bash Ali, as you pointed out. It's difficult to judge because, first of all, I haven't seen all of Henry Tillman's fights, and second of all, he hasn't fought in the same division as Mike. He's been fighting as a cruiserweight. There's not as much talent down there. It's difficult to say. I was very impressed with Tillman against Bash Ali. He will be inevitably a future opponent of Mike Tyson, as will Terrell Biggs and a number of other these young heavyweight prospects.
Coming up immediately after this fight, our coverage of the Kentucky Derby, beginning of ABC Sports' run through the Triple Crown this spring. Right now we are in round 9. Mike Tyson well ahead in the scoring, or so we would judge it, against James Tylis, but looking for a knockout to keep his 19 knockout string alive.
I'm not sure he is looking for a knockout, Jim. I mean, he certainly isn't fighting like someone who is. It's possible that, number one, he doesn't know how to knock Tylis out. Tylis has presented a problem to him in terms of power punching that he can't solve. But secondly, it's also possible that Mike Tyson is interested in how he is going to react to fighting rounds. He's heard all the doubters say he can't go 10 rounds or 15 rounds, and maybe he's in the back of his mind trying to find out exactly how he is going to respond in that kind of a fight that he is in no danger, in my opinion, of losing.
Maybe in the front of his mind. 22 seconds remaining in round 9. More and more it looks as though Tylis is going to be able to go the distance. And Tyson again is not busy during the clinches when his hands are free and he has a chance to punch. Landed a right hand on Tillis's nose, but again from a long enough distance that it didn't damage Tylis. We have gotten to the end of round 9. We'll be back for the closer after this.
Maxiderm works exactly as they said it would.
You literally start feeling it in under 60 seconds.
She actually bought it for me. Now I'm a big believer.
It's never been better. Male enhancement doesn't always mean there's a problem. Maxiderm is for any man or couple that's looking for more. Customers report that it starts working in under 60 seconds, so you can see more, feel more, and enjoy more.
Call the number on the bottom of your screen right now to try Maxiderm absolutely risk-free. Plus, receive a free trial of Vivaxa for improved timing and control.
What a big difference. Big. Not everybody needs a prescription. That's why we created Maxiderm, the instant male enhancement formula that can make a big difference today.
Call the number on the bottom of your screen right now to try Maxiderm absolutely risk-free. Plus, receive a free trial of Vivaxa for improved timing and control. Call in the next 15 minutes for free upgraded rush delivery.
My name is Mick Bird, and I'm the owner of True Compass Designs. The priority was the family. How can I make it work from home? Right now, I currently oversee about 160 domains and websites. I brought them all under one roof to GoDaddy. GoDaddy is my own private IT department. If I can't do it, I turn to GoDaddy, and they've always handled everything. With GoDaddy, I'm able to work so much faster.
Just go to GoDaddy.com.
GoDaddy helps my business shine.
In movie theaters in 1986, Tom Cruise made hearts swoon as the high-flying maverick in the blockbuster movie Top Gun. The film also spawned a top-selling album, which included Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins, Take My Breath Away by Berlin, and the reissue of You've Lost That Loving Feeling by the Righteous Brothers. Also that year, Sigourney Weaver reprised her role as Ripley in the sequel to Aliens. Oliver Stone gave us his version of the Vietnam War in the Academy Award-winning Platoon. And Mickey Rourke set the screen on fire in the erotic 9.5 Weeks. Now let's head back to the 1986 heavyweight bout between Mike Tyson and James Quick Tylis here on ESPN Classic.
We are back in Glens Falls, New York, round 10. The crowd tries to liven itself up, try to provide some encouragement to Mike Tyson. Most of them have come here today hoping to see a knockout and, frankly, expecting to see a knockout. Tyson tries to deliver with the right hand and steps in and throws the left. Tylis again ties him up.
James Tylis is still a dangerous fighter. This is the most power and zip he's had in his punches at this late stage in a fight that I can ever remember. Tyson knows it, and I just don't think he's going to take any unnecessary chances. You could be sure he wants to keep the knockout string alive. But he also is just not going to take any unnecessary chances. He wants to win a decision, win a fight. He'll be 20-0, still undefeated, and in his mind, I think, still well on his way to a heavyweight championship.
Could Tylis have revived his career somewhat, even with a loss, if he stands up?
Well, this certainly is a respectable showing, and there certainly will be notoriety to the man who broke Mike Tyson's knockout string, especially if Mike resumes the knockout string after this fight. Always difficult to know why a crowd is booing. You can't psychoanalyze 8,000 people. I think it's possible that they're disappointed in Mike's performance. They came here wanting to see him do what he's done in his previous 19 fights, and he doesn't appear at this point to be going all out to satisfy them.
Landed the left hand, but Tylis stood right there. Cut is no longer a problem. It has been effectively stopped. Tylis comes straight in. And now Tyson, one of the few times we've ever seen him swinging wildly. Good left hand. Tylis is still there. Well, there will be very little doubt about the decision here. The scoring might be slightly different in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tylis continues to give a good account of himself.
And backs Mike Tyson up onto the ropes, which is a first.
A little of Tyson's own medicine. It will be interesting to see how Mike reacts to this. Closing with a flurry. The bell is going to sound. Big smile on the face of Bo Williford as he steps into the ring. I think he's quite proud, win or lose, of James Tylis.
Someone's about to lose their Selling Miller highlight privileges. Can I borrow that for a second? Hamburger, $11.50. Are you for real? Step aside, mon ami. Pardon moi. Excuse us. See, this beer is about helping people live the high life. It's a good, honest beer at a tasty price. We have a mess with the high life, and the high life will mess with you. $11.50 for a hamburger. Y'all must be crazy.
For one day, let's put fun above work. Let's make football the center of our universe. Let's stir up old rivalries and revel in confrontations. Let's delight in the impossible, the unbelievable, and the oh my God, did you see that? Let's train our lottery defensive packages. Let's dominate the red zone. Let's gobble up quarterbacks and spit out victories. And if for only one day, let's give the great game of football a little celebration. Madden, NFL 08, rated E for everyone. EA Sports, it's in the game.
I know that bench. We got close 2 years back. Real tight last year. But now, bench gotta find a new hand. I'm not spending 26 games on a pond. Just thinking about what could have been. Because this year, I refuse to sit. Run with the Nike Shox Turbo 5 and Nike Shox TW. Nowhere but Foot Locker.
All right, now we are back live in Glens Falls, New York, and in the middle of the ring announcer Paul LaFleur with the decision
Ladies and
in this
gentlemen, here is the official scoring. Judge Bernie Friedkin scores it 6 rounds to 4. Judge Allen scores it 6 rounds to 4. Judge Tony Moret scores it 8 rounds to 2. This decision is still undefeated, Mike Tyson.
So for 19-year-old Mike Tyson, moved the record now to 19 We're making 20 wins, no losses, 19 of them by knockout. I'm Jim Lampley along with Alex Wallow, saying so long for now from Glens Falls, New York.
Welcome to Gladiator Arena, Los Angeles, California, and things are definitely heating up as America's best contenders take on the American Gladiators.
The Samuel Goldwyn Company presents the American Gladiators.
Hi again, everyone. I'm Mike Adamy, along with NFL Hall of Famer Larry Zonka. Larry, your favorite event number one, and it's right at hand. The Gladiators and contenders are ready. Breakthrough and conquer, the name of the game.
Oh, I like that game. And one of our contenders is an ex-football player, so we ought to get a little head knocking right away.
He's ready, so are we. Let's go. That ex-football player is Michael Colson, 23 years old from Long Beach, California. He's a singer and dancer, but once played football for the University of Hawaii. And there he is, number 3. Also spent a season with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the Canadian Football League. He'll get to use his running back skills against Turbo and Breakthrough and Viper in the Conquer Ring.
Never knew a number 3 before, Mike. Did you ever know a number 3?
Darryl LaMonica, Jan Stenerud, Babe Ruth.
Did a lot of head moves, Mike, but he didn't drive upfield, never really turned his body. Easy mark for Turbo on that one.
Well, let's see if he fares any better here in the Conquer Ring against Viper. Viper doing a good job so far. 5 seconds remain. And this event, round 1, belongs to the Gladiators. No points for Michael Colson.
Viper doing an excellent job. Battles up high. Feels Michael getting the leverage on him, so he drops to his knee. Enables him to stay in the ring.
Viper rides out the rest of the storm. No points for Mike Colson. Now it's Kevin Weber's turn. 31 years old from Naperville, Illinois. He's a senior account manager in industrial sales. Also a fine wrestler one time at Indiana University. For a second he had Turbo beat.
Bit on the move, got out of position, but then the reaction time is excellent. Catches up to the contender and throws him down.
Whistle. Now let's see what Kevin can do with Viper inside the Conquer Ring.